Welcome to the Sleepy G Show. I'm your host, your most. My name is Gomez, and today, first of all, I'd like to say Happy New Year to everybody. But here we are in the 2025 new year, and I'm excited about this one, guys. First of all, probably one of my favorite bands, listening to them for such a long time. And we're going to take it back a little bit, and I'm so pumped because I made the announcement actually today, finding out last night, which was great, that I have Alex, the lead singer from The Calling. Alex, how are you, buddy?
How you doing? Good to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm
Uh,
I'm doing good.
uh,
Doing very well.
well, first of all, honor to have you on the show. Really
Thank
appreciate you
you.
taking the time.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
uh,
Thank
you,
you.
you know, uh, first of all, talk about amazing, amazing band. Talk about some of the greatest songs, especially wherever you'll go. Probably everyone's well-known song in the world, but
Yeah, it's one of those good multi-billion stream songs of insanity that I can't even believe it myself. It's insane.
it
Yeah.
is, and probably one of the best, one of your greater songs. But also, you do have Adrian too, which was another song that was very popular too. And
Yeah, we
uh,
actually had we were lucky. We like broke internationally. So I had like seven or eight number one songs
yeah,
around the world, that different songs that maybe weren't that didn't we didn't even put out in America. So it was actually, yeah. So it was a that was that yeah, the 2000s around was a good one.
well, without a doubt. I mean, again, like I said, you had some of the great songs, and you had also,
The Santana single too.
yeah, that's another good
Right.
one too.
Yeah.
Again, you had such a great song, and then you have Our Lives that was featured
Right.
in the 2004 Summer Olympics. I
Yeah,
mean,
and the closing ceremony of the Oscars,
yes,
opening ceremony of the Oscars. Yeah,
or it was
lots of
either. I knew it was in the Oscars. I just couldn't remember if it was opening or the ending.
something. It was one of those songs that like everyone played at their graduation that year and stuff.
Hmm.
2004, our lives was, yeah, that's great.
And that's one thing I gotta say, man. Like I said, from me and to everyone who has listened to the music from the band. I mean, we all have to say thank you, man. You had some amazing songs, and
Yeah,
I actually.
thanks for listening. So
Oh,
it's both ways.
first of all, I do have a good one because I had a good friend of mine. Actually, this was my old co-host from our very first podcast together. We did our own thing because of our kids. His kids were a little
Yeah,
bit older, mine were younger, so timing was off. So we're both
everything's different. Yeah.
everything is totally different when now that we have both have kids. I have the younger kids, he has the older kids, so the timing was totally different. But
Nice.
he did ask me to ask you about your cover song, Keep Your Hands to Yourself from the Sweet Home Alabama
Yeah.
soundtrack. He said that was a fun cover. Now, how did you
Yeah.
guys come up for doing that one?
That was like one of these, we're on tour in the middle of somewhere in the world, and like we get a call like they want you on this soundtrack for this movie, but they don't want to use one of your songs. They want you to record a cover of a song. And then I was, so when they told me what song it was, I was like, "Are you joking?" I was like, I was like, I can't sing that. That's got, it's got like almost yodeling in the, it's a classic rock song, but like the, southern rock. It's obviously, so anyway, yeah, no, it was the movie soundtrack people, and they wanted me to sing the song. So I think we recorded it like on tour, like the vocals and like the tracks, and then like, yeah, it was crazy, but yeah, it turned out cool.
Yeah, and that was actually coming from my buddy, and also one of my oldest friends. For after 30 years, man, we're still the best of friends. Brian Colburn, and he's got his show, My Weekly Mixtape,
Right.
which is doing really well. Like I said, he's a knowledge of music, man. He's an encyclopedia of music. He's the guy. When we did our show, we were awesome together. You know what I mean? We were the dynamic duo of the show. Like I said,
So what stopped you guys decided to do two? Oh, because of the two different like timings and
the
all that.
timing with the
Got it.
kids.
Right. Of course.
So I was home getting bored and antsy because it used to be like every Tuesday night was like our bowling night.
Right.
It felt, getting together, and his knowledge of music was phenomenal. Like he's an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
um, for 2 years, and then I found my own way in the podcasting world, figuring out because I love movies, video games, stuff, and TV stuff like that. I
Mhm.
incorporated all the music into it, saying,
Mhm.
"Hey,
Of
remember this one? And it was in this movie,"
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it ended up working out really well. People loved the idea.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, we both had different timings and stuff like that, and it was hard to get together. And we both said,
Yeah.
you know what, we'll take a break and we'll see what happened. And we both became kind of successful in both of our positions of
Great.
podcasting.
Good. Good for you, man.
And
Both of
you know,
you. It's great.
it's actually I'm celebrating my 2 year anniversary this year already. So
Nice.
doing this on my own for 2 years, over 100 episodes on my own under my own belt. Um,
Great.
it's an incredible feat for me because like you guys, I had a dream of always doing something like this growing up, and people shot my dream down back in my day.
Of course.
And
Well, and there wasn't this immediate access to be able to try to put it together like you can today.
yeah,
Not to say
exactly.
that that's going to get you followers. I mean, listeners. That's a whole nother thing. You have to have something people want to listen to, and not a lot of other things. But I'm just saying. But back then, I can imagine. Yeah, I mean, not even you never tried like in the radio world or like.
You know what, when I was told and I hate to say, I was told I was not going to amount to much on that department, so I never pursued the career ever again. And then
Right.
it wasn't until again Brian had his own podcast prior. He was
Mm-hmm.
on before, and then I jumped on him as a special guest because I was getting married, and
Oh, congratulations.
this was 10
That was
years
a
ago.
long
It's
time ago. I
yeah,
assume you have kids. I don't.
yeah, no, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And the funny thing is that I was like, damn, man, I just got that bug, and then during COVID, I got hurt, and I got bored. I was
Yes, didn't we
I,
all?
I was home waiting for surgery. I was seeing doctors. I got hurt at work during
That
COVID.
sucks.
So I tore my MCL, like shredded it all off my knee, and injured at home, upset.
Perfect time though to be injured at home when the world is shut down.
Yeah, no, and it was, and I mean, it was just hard to get a doctor's appointment and schedule surgeries
Oh, I know.
and
Trust me, I know. I've had been my share of doctors all the time. So yeah, I know that was a hard time.
so, and then I was just sitting there and I was texting him because he was home working from home. I just said, I don't know about you, but I want to do something again. I want to do podcasting. And I was talking about maybe sports, music, movies, what I mean? And he actually came up with the idea of the show where
Mm,
I threw the idea of we should do something together, and then boom. And then, it evolved really, really quickly,
mm.
which was great. And then here I am, 2 years later on my own, and here I am with you, which is like huge in my
Oh,
accomplishments of
thank
meeting
you.
people. You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, 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 I know. Listen, I appreciate you coming on. Now, with you in the band, where did the band's name, The Calling, come from? Like, how did you guys evolve into that?
So I I mean, even though my dad's like a horror movie director, I grew up in Hollywood in that kind of atmosphere,
Mhm.
which was which was fun. But I totally was born to do what I do. I was singing and writing songs when I was 2, 3 years old. I had a mini cassette recorder when I was 4. I mean, I made my first record when I was 11.
Wow.
I was signed to RCA at 15. I was taken out of high school.
Wow.
A bunch of years of just gigging around and kind of grooming with the label, and then finally made the first album. Obviously, and I was 19 years old when that all happened. But yeah, well, when the album came out, but the Calling name was simple. Once it came time, like, okay, what are we naming the band? And it was
Mhm.
literally at this point, like right before the release of the record of the first single. Sorry,
Right.
Wherever You'll Go, because I had been calling it a bunch of different things, and but then I don't know, it just coming back that everybody said it was my calling to be to be playing music. It's my calling. It's what I was born to do. It's what I've always done. It's all I know. And that was where it came from. I was like, well, let's make it the calling. And I think I don't know. It was not taken, so we were like, great, that was it.
And that's in it's like for me, the Sleevey G show. You know what I mean? It wasn't taken. I took it too.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I
that's
mean that's awesome because again, I mean, I actually like the name. It's just it's easy, it's simple. It's not like, you know,
yeah. There's no numbers,
yeah, there's no numbers.
although
It's
it's calling.
But you know what? But that's the one thing I gotta admit though. It's like you said, it's your calling for the
Yeah.
music business. Your dad was like you said. Your dad said he was into the movies. You were born in Hollywood. Now,
Mhm.
growing up in that whole Hollywood thing, how was that too? A little bit growing up on that whole scene.
Dude, it was wild. I mean, I had to grow up really fast. I mean, I was seeing on the sets of his movies at 4 or 5 years old, naked chicks running around, blood, killer puppets, things, just the others. It was always just normal, and but it was fun. Like when sometimes he'd film at like the Universal lot,
Oh,
and
nice.
me and like I'd bring a friend and we'd go like terrorize the tram ride people because
Watch the
we
tram
we were
car.
on the actual lot, so we like we'd like pop out of like the psycho house and do funny stuff to tram people. But my dad never. It was interesting. All his movies he made, they were all like B movies and
Mhm.
like direct to video, and uh, he never had huge stars in them because they were what they were. But he did have a lot of stars in them that became stars. Sorry, like
Mhm.
so when I was young, growing up, it was like Demi Moore, Helen Hunt, Bill Maher, Viggo Mortensen. These are all people that were at my house. These are all people I met that like were all their first gig was my dad's movies, and it goes on and on like that. So it's interesting. I've been able to like as a kid, I remember these people when
Right.
they were just starting and so on and so forth. So um but yeah, it's yeah,
But
basically.
that's awesome to say that you got to see these people too before.
Yeah.
For me, that's like I said, I always loved, I don't know, for some reason, I always wanted to do like the whole movie scene. I was always big into movies. I'm like a huge movie buff.
Mm,
Um, I didn't get into horror until I got a little older.
yeah.
I mean,
No, I was dude, my dad showed me The Exorcist when I was 4.
wow,
Like
okay.
yeah, this was yeah, it was not I was real I knew
That
uh,
that's a little young. I mean, I didn't get to see The Exorcist until I was 9
yeah. No,
because
by that
I'm
point I go ahead.
but I'm not gonna lie. The one movie that really scared the crap out of me, and I said I'm not seeing horror until I get a little older, was the original Poltergeist, the very first one.
Oh yeah, of course.
That scared. What I mean, it
Yeah.
scared excuse
Yeah.
me, the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
That really scared the hell out of me. Like,
Yeah.
there, it just
I no, it's creepy. Poltergeist, the original is creepy. Yeah, it's
the
in the
whole
TV. Then you get scared of the TV.
I was freaking
Snow.
out with the TV when the snow
Uh,
came on, and if you hit the snow channel, like, back in the day, in the 80s, growing
yeah.
up, and you get
No,
one of
I know.
those,
Yeah, the snow.
you're
Yeah.
like, I remember, I'll never forget it. I was gonna say, I think maybe I was 5 or 6, and my dad was just turning the TV. I'm like, oh my God, the poltergeist! And I ran. I just bolted out of the room.
That's
So,
awesome. I
and
had
but
one. I only had one movie that freaked me out. Was Pet Cemetery,
oh yeah,
which was yeah, and that's after I'd seen like lots of really much worse ones. But there was something about that that super creeped me out.
no, no, and that was one. But then I remember I turned 8, and then I saw Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
And that's when I was just like, okay,
Yeah.
remember, it's a movie.
Yeah.
It's not real, but it was so realistic to me. And
Yeah.
my mom was like, I can't believe you're watching this horror stuff. I'm like, it's kind of cool. And
Yeah.
I go, Freddy's cool with that hand. And I
Yeah.
actually remember it was Freddy Krueger on Halloween. It's so
Yeah,
freaking.
we all were. I mean, it's what an iconic, massive, So I don't know, a villain, I guess you call
Oh
it.
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you're talking about probably
Yeah,
the ultimate one of those awesome villains. You know when you see everything and you
that was the
love
other cool thing of like when growing up in the with my dad in the business is like a lot of people he worked with ended up like going out and making their own movies, and like those people were people like Zemeckis and people like who did
Mhm.
uh, whatever Friday the 13th, and people that did the I don't know what do you call it. We were just talking about it. Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger,
Freddy Krueger,
like
Jason.
yeah, all those stuff. So like it was cool. I remember going to lots of premieres and stuff when I was little, and getting to see like the actors and stuff.
And that's awesome because again, it's still it's kind of funny. I'll even say my age now. As at tender age of 45, man, would I do anything just to go to a premiere to anything? Just to say I
Oh yeah,
would.
no, yeah, premiere is fun no matter what. It's great. It's a
Even
massive experience.
premiere or even just to go to one of the awards,
Yeah,
uh
award shows are cool.
award shows like
Um,
I wouldn't mind because hey, I live here in Jersey. So I know sometimes the MTV Music Awards are here in New York or in New Jersey,
yeah,
depending where it is.
I've,
For me
I've
would be
been yeah.
I would definitely I would so love it just to be there and just say I was there once.
Right.
Just to
Well, hey, dude, hopefully I'll be there, and I'll have you come. We'll see.
hey, listen, I would be grateful to
Right.
be there because I would actually, I would say I'd do a live show for you and say follow the calling through the MTV Music Awards. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that would be
Yeah.
like
No. Actually, the MTV Awards was like one of one of. I mean, I'm not trying to sound egotistical, but one of
no.
many awards I won that. But it was like the most meaningful because it was best new artist, but it was voted on at that time by
Mhm.
fans,
Yeah,
and I was up against Avril Lavigne, Pink, and
yeah.
Shakira.
I remember that
The
actually,
calling is never going to win this. It was European,
the MTV Awards, but
and I was like,
still.
we're never going to win. There's no way that their fan bases are way bigger, so on and so forth. And yeah, I was stunned, shocked when I won that.
Best New Act. You did win for that. I
Yeah,
do actually remember that.
yeah,
And you actually won with the NRJ Music Awards International Duo
yeah.
and Group of the Year. I mean,
Right, yeah,
you
yeah.
also get, don't forget, you guys did get nominated on the Teen Choice Awards for Adrian too.
No,
For
I won. I won. I got a surfboard. I got a
yeah,
couple surfboards, and yeah, I got
I
yeah,
mean, you got some awesome wins, and again, Smash Hits Poll Winners Party. You won for Best Rock Act. And I mean, again,
all the bill. The cool things too are like the Billboard
board.
plaques I've gotten.
That was the next one I was
Billboard
coming. Billboard
like
Music
number one
Awards.
song of the decade. That was those kind of things are that's crazy stuff I've got. Yeah,
Now, with all the music careers, I mean, you guys have toured with some awesome names.
yeah,
Who was your favorite band or person you guys loved to tour with when you guys were during your touring times? You know what I mean? Like, who was your
yeah.
number
I mean,
one?
dude, I've got to meet so many people and so many of my idols as well. Paul McCartney. I got to perform with Ringo Starr.
God.
Yeah, Axl Rose. I get to sing with him on my 21st birthday when the calling was really big. I was playing the in Miami, the big arena there. It was a radio show, and we were performing that night. And as a surprise, Steven Tyler came, and because he's like one of my biggest influences, and he surprised me on stage with like singing happy birthday to me, which freaked me out. But it turned out that
God.
he had actually been there early in the day and told my band that this was going to happen and told them to learn Walk This Way.
Oh my
So
God.
all of a sudden he's like, let's sing a song together. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to sing? He's like, let's sing Walk This Way. And then my band just started playing. I was like, oh my guys, it all sunk in. Like, you fuckers knew all this
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Sorry to say a bad
No,
word,
no,
but
no, no. Listen,
but
this is
but it was awesome. I was so and he's putting his arm around me and we're singing together that walk this way.
I was just
That
about to
was
say that's
amazing.
got to be a highlight of your
Oh
life
yeah,
right
no, dude.
there.
I've so many crazy highlights. I got to I got to become friends with Michael Jackson, but before that, I got to perform with him a couple of times, and one time acoustic performance at this Prince of Brunei's house. And
Mhm.
Michael Jackson like sat and watched my entire acoustic show performance like five
Nice.
feet from me. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's
Uh,
nuts. I mean, it's kind of
yeah.
funny. My son is imitating Michael Jackson's Thriller, and
Oh
here
yeah.
we are,
That's
three
and
months
timeless.
3 months later. I'm still hearing Thriller. I mean, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. I love the song. Yeah, and I gotta say, my son's 4, but
Uh,
to see
mine's
him.
mine's 8.
Okay, my daughter's 8, so
Uh,
I have 2 kids. So I have an 8-year-old and I have
I
a
couldn't.
4-year-old.
Yeah, the idea of two is like I couldn't do it. Yeah.
Someone asked me for a third. I said, no, no, two's enough for me. I was done at 2.
Yeah.
One was hectic, 2 just
I know.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to see my son imitate the dance moves,
Yeah. It's just something an old classic. It's
and
crazy.
I'm just like looking at him like, holy Christ, you can imitate the dance. I couldn't even do it. So for me to see him do that is just one of
Oh yeah.
those things,
No,
and
I get it. I get like that's a father moment of pride.
like yeah, of even my daughter. I mean, she's actually a national dance team competition girl.
Mm.
So to see my daughter do what she's doing this year and last year, it blows my mind because when I was a kid, my parents, they pushed me hard to get good grades.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a studious person, but once I got into sports, once my parents moved us from one town that wasn't the greatest into where all my friends lived at that time, and we moved to the town. And as soon as that was it. I was gone. Sports became life, and schoolwork was much better. But
Yeah.
I always pictured myself to either, like I said, be in the movies or on radio or do something with sports because I loved
Right.
coaching too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Yeah. I know sports. I always loved sports. I was never very good at them. So it was cool later in life to like get my music in a lot of sporting events, and be able to like that, So I was like I got to go to like front court seats of like like Lakers or the Kings or like because they were using my song for something, and so I was like
still.
someone else should have this ticket because I don't even know what I'm watching. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that would be me. I'd be like going
Yeah,
crazy if I ever got front row. And the closest I've ever gotten, because I'm a huge hockey fan too. I love football.
yeah,
I'm a New Yorker guy. I'm a New York Giants, even though they're not the greatest team right now in the NFL. I love my Yankees. I love my Rangers. I'm a huge hockey fan. For me, before my dad passed away in 2011, I remember he took me to a Rangers game, and it was the '94 Stanley Cup Finals, and the
mm,
Rangers won Game 7. Talk
cool.
about probably the most greatest sporting event in my entire life to
That's awesome.
to see that. And I remember my wife, um, the day our child was born, she bought me tickets, and she got seventh row from the ice for me for my
Oh
birthday.
wow, there you
So
go.
the day she gets induced to go give birth to her daughter, she buys these tickets for me.
Wow,
So for
that's
my wife,
killer.
yeah, my wife, she's the rock of the family, and because of her, I do what I love to do, and this is something I love doing is my
Yeah,
podcast. And with her, my daughter, and my son's support, I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't get their blessing because that's something
yeah,
that
of course. Yeah,
I cherish a lot. And I actually took the month of December off from recording to spend time with them because
yeah, it's important.
2024 I blew up big time. And for 6 months, 7 months, I was busting my butt. Even when we were on vacation, I
Yeah,
wasn't I wasn't recording, but I was still promoting. And I said, you know what? December is going to be time with the kids, my wife, because I need to spend it. And they're like, okay, when do you go back to podcasting? I said, soon, guys, soon.
yeah,
But for me to see, to have guests like you, Probably you're like my second biggest musical act that I had. First one was Drowning Pool. You know,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
gra you
Remember?
know, Grammy nominated. For me to have, first of all, big shout out to Shauna at O'Donnell Media. You know what I mean? When I, she threw, email letting me know about your new song coming out and all that stuff. I'm like,
Yeah. Well, new album, lots
new
of new
album.
songs. Yeah, yeah. New album this year is coming
Yeah.
out.
And
Finally, it only took 20 years.
And I did, but I mean, still, but it's like for me, when there's a band like yourself that I've known the music, I've heard the music, I there's something about waiting sometimes. It could take 5 years, or like you said, it could take 20.
Yeah,
But to finding that right tune, what the way you want to sing, what words you want to say, I'm pumped to get the album.
it's great. It's been long, many years in the making. Obviously, like over a decade. I didn't choose to by late 2000s, I had done the two calling records, and then I did a solo record,
Hmm.
and then that that came out. It took a bunch of years of like moving from one label to the next. That was when all labels were like failing. So then I
Hmm.
went to EMI and then I released that single. I had the theme the theme of the World Cup. It was
Yes, the
in
2004.
Europe. No,
Was it?
2000. This is 2011.
Oh, 2011. I'm sorry. I'm
This is
sorry.
for this is for my solo record,
Okay.
which was never really even released in America. It was we released in Europe, and it was anyway. It was the same year Shakira did. It was South American Olympics, but
Hmm.
anyway. So I was starting to. This was 2011. The song was starting to take off. The solo record, we were about to drop it in America, and then I got Parkinson's disease
Oh wow. Okay.
at 29, like just like Michael J. Fox, same deal, and it hit me like hard. It wasn't like a slow thing that came on. It was like all of a sudden I was incapacitated. I was like unable to do my job and do anything. So that was the end. I never thought I would play a guitar instrument, sing anything again.
And look
So
at you now, man.
yeah, but I got really lucky. So
Well, I mean, again, for me to even hear that, Alex, I'm glad you're doing great. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
just took a good 10, 12 years there.
no, but still, man, to see a battle, I mean, the only person I ever saw with Parkinson's was definitely Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
And now to hear this, for me, like I love raising awareness, so I definitely,
absolutely.
would something I would definitely highlight,
I
for
wouldn't
you.
be able to, and I wouldn't be able to be coming back right now and doing what I do and performing live and being, good if not for Michael J. Fox and his foundation and
Mhm.
and all the research they have done and the medications they've come out with. Because
Mhm.
I mean, I got it, 20 years after he had it. So this was, there was, I was lucky enough to be given medications that he if he would have taken it younger, he would have been able to be a lot better off than he is right now. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
um, but yeah, it's yeah, that was a big fork, a little fork in the
Little,
road. Yeah,
yeah, I was about to say a little fork in the road. Yeah, I mean, but
yeah.
just to hear you also win the battle. You know what I mean? I know it's a
Well,
far from
yeah.
it
Well, you don't
between.
win. You don't win the battle with Parkinson's. I
No.
I I kept getting better,
Mhm.
and then 8 years later, after I was first diagnosed in 2011, and I had multiple diagnoses from different hospitals, UCLA,
Mhm.
Cedars here in LA, and but 8 years later, my brain scans and stuff started showing that it was gone, which is not something Parkinson's does.
No.
So I was almost, yeah. So my doctors, the head of neurology at Cedars, they were like threw their hands up. They said, honestly, either this is like you're one in a billion of that this can happen, or they said, or we screwed up and you never had it. But they're like, but you clearly did. So
Right.
so anyway, I just took it and ran. I was like, yay, I'm going back. I'll be a normal person again. And that was, and that, yeah, that's what started then the getting to this point finally.
Right.
But, so I've done a bunch of tours in the last few years to make sure I'm like road work, like, and
Yeah.
I have that stamina. And we were just in South America
Oh,
for,
nice.
we did 22 shows through Brazil, which was, it's crazy. It was the longest international band tour ever in Brazil. It was amazing. And then, and anyway, hit some other countries like, of course, Mexico too before we came back. But that was a good testament to make sure I'm good. It went really well.
Now you're gonna be. Are you doing any U.S. touring for
Absolutely.
2025?
We're gonna be, with the release of the new record and new singles in the coming months, we're gonna be focusing on, I mean, America and Europe.
Hmm.
I have an amazing fan base in South America. Like, I can go there anytime, and they're there, and it's fucking killer. And so same as Asia, like parts of Asia too, just like places you wouldn't even think of that still like just love the calling. Places where I had like 4 or 5 number one songs that like blew,
Right.
um, but anyway, but America was our softest market. That
Hmm.
was, we so that's, I mean, that, yeah, that's where we're starting touring here. Obviously, that's the main goal. And then opening for, there's, not just festivals and stuff. And obviously, this coming summer, doing lots of America, whatever. I mean, yeah, festivals in the
Yeah.
summer, but also, um, you know, opening. There's a few artists, that we're in talks with about opening, big artists, like,
Right.
doing opening for them on their tours this year. So I'm super excited. There's,
Definitely, man. If you're definitely in the New York, New Jersey area, I
oh
would
yeah.
definitely come out to see you
Oh well,
guys.
I'll definitely be in that area for sure. There's no doubt.
Definitely, I'll definitely be there to support you guys 100%. Just because
Thanks.
I, for me, hearing live music, don't get me wrong, I love record music. I love hearing the
Yeah.
records and the CDs, but
No,
something about,
nothing's like live. Yeah.
yeah, seeing like you guys play live. I actually had a friend of mine who actually sang your song, Adrian, a good
Mm.
friend of mine. Every Wednesday night we're at the bar. He, I swear to God, I thought it was you who was singing. It was him,
Mhm.
and the voice was just like spot on to you.
That's awesome.
And hearing it, and then I would hear it on the radio. I'm like, Jesus! I go, dude, you sound exactly like them. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. You should just been on that album with him too. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh
there's once in a while you get that feel when you hear somebody singing. You know what I mean?
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I had this band in October come on, In Theory, and they're starting to get a little bit bigger. They're getting nominated for something for Grammy this year. And matter of fact, the lead singer Mike Cavino, I'm sorry, Tony Cavino, he sounds like Chris Cornell.
Oh
Like I
yeah,
heard his
that would be
voice.
amazing. I knew Chris, so yeah, amazing. That yeah, that would
That's
that's a killer.
that was his huge influence to getting into music
Yeah,
was Chris Cornell.
right.
And I'll tell you when I first heard Tony sing, I swear to God, the hairs on the back of my neck stood up, thinking it
That
was
it
Chris
should. If a
Cornell.
real, yeah, if someone's really got pipes and they can blow you away, then that's exactly what it should feel like. Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, I've had, for me to talk to guys like him, even you know what I mean? It's like a true dream come true, you know what I mean? Because once in a lifetime opportunities that you just don't ever want to pass up. So for me, having you on the show it's a huge, huge honor, you know what I mean?
Thank
Especially
you.
for 2025, especially getting your album released this year. Now,
Yeah.
you guys have an exact when you guys are releasing the album this year?
So we, it's definitely going to be. We did like a soft release, like of one song last year,
Hmm.
during that South American tour, called Stand Up, and that's
Okay.
on Spotify. And there's
Yep.
and then we shot the music video in Brazil for that. It's like a live music video you can check out. But anyway, the the actual album, the new album, and the new tunes will, I believe, start dropping closer to summer, and then my guess is the album in its entirety will be out end of summer. So I don't know how that works.
Okay. Well, we're
Whole
definitely
different music world to me now. So
no,
it's
no, it's totally
not.
different from when you first started in the
Oh yeah,
beginning.
massively.
So I will say this, I'm looking forward to the new album. So
Thank
I'm
you.
like
I'm looking forward to
I'm
people to hear it. So there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears put in that album, and a lot
and
of years and years of
hard
great.
work. But also, from what you've gone through to everything now, Alex, I gotta say, man, you're a true inspiration, man.
Thank
Um,
you.
I will say that, man, because you could have been down on the dumps and not gone on when you found out what you had with Parkinson's, man, and to take control and to get better and progress every year, man, you're an inspiration to a lot of people, man. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna say that with a full heartedness, man.
I
Like,
just use as I just don't I don't know anything. Like I'm like I don't know anything other than music, and it's also what it's kind of what makes me me. Like so, like I mean, the idea of doing something else for a living doesn't even exist. So
mhm.
I just kept it's all about perseverance. I mean, but yeah, but I've been kicked down. I mean, that was definitely a big kick down. But there's been other things. I mean, it was insane. Once I finally was getting my bearings after years of Parkinson's, I got like jumped and basically kidnapped and outside of Michigan. I'm sorry, outside of Detroit.
Holy
I
shit.
just played a show. Yeah, and I was played a show, and anyway, I was pulled into the back of a van. They broke like my jaw here with a metal bat. They stole all my money and all my stuff. It was crazy. Yeah, so I mean, it's a long story. I won't go into it,
No, I totally understand that, man. But
yeah,
you can see the shock just in my face. I'm holy.
it was insane. It was a lot of yeah. After I mean that, just asking myself like, what am I supposed to do this or not? Like what But no, I
But
guess persevering and that and if the fans weren't there still, it would have been different, I think. But the fact that they my hardcore fans have waited all this long and stayed around and like that's to me that's it's amazing. I can't it's so
I'm I'm
yeah.
still a fan, Alex. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm a
Okay.
fan, and for me to even be talking to you face to face like this is like a true honor. Like I keep saying it because it is. You
Thank
know,
you.
I don't get opportunities like this always, but when I do, I take advantage of getting this moments because you never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like you said
Yeah,
earlier. I
that's for
mean,
sure. You never know what's gonna happen.
I
Appreciate
mean,
everything you got every day. That's for sure. Of
you could say, "Hey guys, I went on this show. You might want to go talk to him." You know what I mean? Like you could spread the word too on me.
course,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And for me, because when I signed off on tonight, I promoted tonight. Saying, "Hey, biggest thing for me. This just happened last night at the last second." Because
Yeah.
I did ask Shauna. It's like, I haven't heard from him. I'm like, all right, I'm not trying to push, but just keep in mind, I have salary available for him no matter what happens.
No,
And
it
then
worked out perfect. That was awesome, man. Thank you
and
for having me.
oh no, no, listen, I thank you for coming on because to have one of the bands I truly love hearing the music and meeting you today is huge for me. It's like a huge morale boost sorry for 2025 because
Awesome. Yeah, let's start it off big. Get get
it's
bigger.
huge because the way I look at it this way, uh, from I suffer through anxiety, high anxiety after
Me
COVID.
too.
You know what I mean?
Me
So
too. Me
I,
too.
I
My whole life. Yeah.
so I can understand. You know what I mean? For me, ever since COVID, my anxiety has gone up horribly.
Me too.
I do speak to somebody, and it's kind of funny. Like for me, when I told her I'm starting my podcast, she goes, you got to remember, it takes 5 years to do something that you love, to build.
But yeah, good least. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I never thought of it that way. So for me, I'm coming on
New
2 years.
Year's. Yeah, no, I know. You're still just
I'm still starting out, but
yeah,
to have guys like you, Drowning Pool, sports figures like Leonard Marshall from the New York Giants, a couple of New Jersey local celebrities, you know what I mean? Like for me,
yeah,
that's a true awesome thing because again, you just never know.
yeah. My longtime guitar player is from Jersey. He's born and raised there.
Oh, nice. All right. So just
Yeah.
tell him we love him and miss him here in New Jersey already. So, but listen, I'm so thrilled for you guys, and I see nothing but awesomeness for you guys on 2025. Um,
Thank
definitely
you.
can't wait for the album to drop this year. Um, I did check out the new single of
A stand up from
Stand
yeah,
Up,
that yeah. Again, it was a single we put out last year. Yeah.
but still awesome song. I did hear it on Spotify, but also, again, Shauna sent me the information. I got to see the music video through YouTube too.
Okay,
So,
so you saw our touring. That's basically yeah. The video shows touring through South America and Brazil. So
yep. So, I mean, that's so awesome, man, just to travel through the South American for a South American tour, man. That's still pretty
yeah.
damn awesome, man. I gotta
Oh
say that.
yeah. Oh yeah. That was my 10th tour through there. That was
Oh wow. So
yeah. I've been a lot. I've been there a lot.
so
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, anything, um, for me to do is, to tour anything that would be an amazing thing. Even if I left to go to Pennsylvania, it's a huge honor to leave the state of New Jersey. You know,
Absolutely.
but I am so looking forward to seeing you guys on the tour on hopefully on
You on
tour.
tour? Yeah. No, we'll be on tour as well through America. Absolutely.
If you're definitely making a stop by in Jersey,
I'm
uh, you know,
sure we will.
or in New York, I'll
New
definitely come
York for
out.
sure. That's no brainer.
If you're in the city, the garden or wherever, I definitely gonna come out and see you guys and definitely, love to hang out with you guys, face to face, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, you
Sounds
know,
good.
man, I gotta say again, Alex, I really appreciate you taking the time out tonight. Um, you
Yeah.
know,
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you and any of the members ever want to come back on, you're always welcome on the show, man. Like I said,
Cool. Yeah.
even if you want to come
Absolutely.
back once the album's about to release, you guys are
Right.
welcome. Or
Yeah. We'd love to. Sure.
do
Yeah.
a release tour date for America and then Europe tour. I'm all open for that always, man. And
Cool.
you know, um, like I said earlier, true inspiration, man. Definitely, we want to raise awareness on Parkinson's, and the Parkinson's disease a little bit. And I am going to mention that, you know what I mean, in
Yeah.
my thing too. That like when I'm done with episodes, I like to say, hey, great interview. You got to check out Alex from The Calling, but also we got to talk about Parkinson's a little bit. And when this is released, people are going to know a little bit more. So I'm
Obviously.
definitely, big ordeal. I really appreciate you sharing that story, Alex, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
man.
Of
That's
course.
huge. And, that's always a private thing. A lot of people don't like sharing that stuff, but
I know, but yeah, but it.
it's part of your life
Yeah,
right
and
now.
it is what it is. You know.
Yeah. Well, listen, first of all, before we do sign off, man, just let everybody know where they could find you guys,
I
and
mean,
everything.
we're on all the social networks thing. Obviously, Instagram, and X. Thecallingmusic.com is like our website. Again, we just signed a record deal, so we're like all of our socials and our website, everything's about to get like redone and made nice.
Okay.
So things are kind of crazy right now, but yeah, but basically, you can find us on all those the normal.
They'll find you like, when I post up everything, they'll have everything there too. So not to
Yeah,
worry, man.
yeah,
So, guys, as you can see, man, dreams come true. Here's a great proof right here. But he's also determined. He's gone through everything.
very determined.
He, you definitely are a true inspiration, Alex. I gotta say that,
Thank
man.
you, thank you
And
very much.
thank you again, guys. As you can see, dreams do come true. Alex is living it. He's doing it. He's a true inspiration right now, guys. Keep an eye out for The Calling. New song, new album coming out, new
Yeah,
tour coming out.
yeah.
Check them out for 2025, guys. And how is in the show? It's nothing but love, peace, and happiness. Good night, everybody.
Good night.